Ja, als ich mich bei Netflix früher angemeldet habe, war die erste Serie, die ich wirklich geguckt habe, und es ist kein Scherz, Orange is the New Black. So, und ich habe eigentlich nicht so viel davon erwartet, aber dann habe ich die ersten 3 Staffeln verschlungen. Und wie das immer so ist, bei Serien ganz am Ende, wenn die letzte Folge gelaufen ist, dann ist man wie auf heißen Kohlen, ne? Aber jetzt kommt sie endlich. Es kommt bald die 4. Staffel von Orange is the New Black. So, und da schauen wir jetzt erstmal in den Trailer rein.
Hey, du musst die Liebe teilen, Homie. So kommen Schwarze überhaupt erst klar. Guck dir Obama an.
Change.
Er wurde Präsident. Also werden wir anderen jetzt...
Gefangene.
Ich bin jetzt schon eine Weile in Litchfield.
Wie läuft's denn so, Kinder?
Und ich fange an, mich hier nicht mehr sicher zu fühlen.
Du hast jetzt Macht, richtig?
Ich habe einen Schreibtisch. Direktor kaputtes Büro, ich bin Miss Jefferson. Wie kann...
Jefferson, ich hab's jetzt.
Mein Fehler, mein Fehler.
Leg einfach auf.
Sardinen-Saison, Bitches. Unser Knast muss jetzt Gewinn machen.
Ich habe 100 neue Insassen. Das bringt uns um.
Man versucht ständig, Frauen in meinem Alter zu entsexualisieren und ich lasse das einfach nicht zu.
Schön für dich.
Ich will die gottverdammten Wärter jetzt. Los!
Ich habe irgendwie Angst um die neuen Wärter.
Kannst du was für dich behalten?
Ich liebe Geheimnisse.
Gefällt mir ganz und gar nicht, wo das hinläuft.
Ich werde dich begraben, hörst du?
Alle gehen sich gegenseitig auf die Nerven, da kocht die Scheiße hoch.
Die können uns einfach auslöschen. Bumm, bumm, bumm.
Du willst echt so weit gehen bei mir?
Oh, ich war schon da, Bitch. Kaufte ein Haus, zog ein. Und jetzt renoviere ich die Küche.
Ich habe wohl die Dominikanerin geärgert.
Ich werde euch finden.
Ich wollte nicht, dass es so schlimm wird.
Mein Gott.
Sie hassen mich, ich hasse sie. Unsere Beziehung ist ganz simpel.
Kennst du den Unterschied zwischen Schmerz und Leiden? Schmerz ist immer da. Aber Leiden ist eine Entscheidung. Und ich bin's echt leid, wie ein räudiger Hund durch die Gegend zu laufen.
Und ich bin wirklich sehr, sehr glücklich, dass 2 Hauptdarstellerinnen von Orange is the New Black hier sind. Uzo Aduba and Yael Stone. Welcome to Joy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You just watched the German trailer.
It was amazing.
Crazy.
Crazy, obviously. Just to explain to our viewers, Uzo Aduba, you're playing, your character is Suzanne Krazee-Eyez. And you're playing Lorna Morello. Well, how is it to watch yourself with another voice and another language and also the colleagues?
It's amazing.
Yes, I didn't know I spoke German so well. It was amazing. No, it was really interesting to hear.
Cool. You're right now here in Berlin to promote the new season of Orange is the New Black. And I just said before the trailer showed, when I did my Netflix account, Orange is the New Black was the first series I watched there. And then I was just like addicted to it. And now I can't wait to watch the new season. Are you also excited what the people may say about it?
I'm curious, and I think we've been for the last 7 months now, because we finished in December, right? For the last 7 months, been jittering and anticipating the show coming out, and for audiences to be met with this season's stories and characters. Yeah, I get very nervous as it starts to get closer. So
Every time she gets nervous. Every time I'm like, you're going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Every time. So nervous.
So you're the calm one.
Yes.
Well, only because she's made me that way. I want to be the nervous one, but she's just so damn nervous. It's like this ritual we go through every year. And we also, you know, we miss each other so much during this hiatus, and then we all come back together, and it's like coming back to family. And then we get to watch the work of everybody else.
Yeah.
which kind of inspires you to go back into the shooting of the next season, which is also what we're about to do.
Totally.
So it's an exciting time.
I think watching Orange is the New Black, I can't tell who's my favorite character.
Good.
I'm not really sure.
We're the same way.
In the beginning, I said, okay, it's Krazee-Eyez. She's totally my favorite character. But then I was like, okay, I don't know. The other ones are also very cool, like Red and Morello.
Thanks.
That's right. I love Morello. I'm excited to see when I hear her say, "Oh mein Gott," what that, and then the phone slamming. I'm just. She's amazing.
There are moments in Orange is the New Black when you realize, it's not just a comedy, it's more. Especially when you get to know something about the past from the characters. And now, I was just wondering, because about Krazee-Eyez, we were not all getting much from her past in the last season, just only that she's adopted. How about season 4? Will we get to know more about Krazee-Eyez' past? Can you tell?
I can't tell.
Oh.
At all, sorry. But what I can tell you is that this show, I think what Jenji has found that is so beautiful is she does open us up to knowing more about these women as people, not just for their crime. And we could try her. She does this amazing work of making them human, making them more real, and making them more than just than their reason for being there. And I think we learn a lot about all of these characters, who they were outside of the prison, be it through their backstory or through the stories that continue to develop inside of Litchfield.
And I think the difference to Morello, as we already know a lot about Morello.
Maybe too much.
Maybe too much about her past. And now, in the last episode, she's now Mrs. Muccio.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. Yes.
So not Lorna Morello anymore, Mrs. Muccio. Is it like the new love story in season 4? Like we learned about Dayanara and Bennett. Is it the new big love story?
You know what I think is most interesting about this moment? Like many young women, that moment of getting married is kind of planned for a lot of people, fantasized about from when they're little girls, and I think Lorna is definitely like that. She's often sat and dreamt about this moment. So I think what's fascinating that Jenji has set up is the moment when you achieve that fantasy goal. What happens when reality meets fantasy, which is always a bit of a problem for Lorna, the fantasy reality thing. So we'll have to see how that goes down.
And we're also wondering if she's really released from Christopher, or is he going to play another role? But I think
there's a lot of feelings in there. There's some Nikki feelings in there too. Of course, she lost her great friend and a lover as well, and that was, I think, very traumatic for her. So I feel very lucky that there's a lot of the expression grit in the oyster, something to make magic with. So I felt very lucky that there's been so many interesting things going on in her life to motivate more story and more heartbreak.
And we are also really excited where the adventure will go. Are there new important characters to come in the next season? I mean, we already know that Judy King is coming to the prison.
Judy King.
What's going on there?
We have a lot of new characters this season. New blood, new rules. That's the little outline for the show. I think this is a season where we get to see some new faces come in. Jenji is really interested in tackling the subjects of overpopulation and prison crowding, and that's happening in our season this year. And what does that bureaucratic action, the trickle-down effects of that, how do they affect the lives of the everyday prisoner and its guards and it's the world inside of the prison? And we see those interactions. And I found that this season, past seasons we had watched select tribes, and some of them pit up against one another. And then this season, the question I feel that's asked of us is, what happens when the old blood might have to become one tribe. Do we bind together, or do we divide? And it's interesting to see who remains true and tight, and which tribes sort of fall apart.
It's also great, you know, because obviously we started the series following Piper as a kind of, you know, very nervous, naive, you know, middle-class white lady entering prison.
Yeah.
And now we're coming back, and she's meeting the new blood, and she's established, and she's scary. And she's learned things, she's changed, and you know, with somebody like Taylor Schilling playing that role, she can do that range. She's also got the ability to kind of tap into the comedy and the tragedy of it. So it will be real. I'm really looking forward to seeing that journey.
Yeah, about Piper. In the beginning, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm Team Piper. I so love her. And then at the end of season 3, she became that scary. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure if I really like her character or not, because she changed that way. And yeah, is it the prison that made her that way? Obviously. I think there's one question everybody's asking themselves when you watch Orange is the New Black. How will I be when... how would I be if I would be in prison? Is that somehow a question that you tell yourselves also? Which character would I be if I would be in prison?
I mean, I've thought about it. I think, you know, my wish and my want is that, and hope is that I would be this, you know, badass, really tough, you know, scary, don't mess with me kind of woman. But I feel like in the end, I'd probably be like, I'll do whatever you say. Just let me, just don't hurt me, you know, in the end. But I don't know. I don't know how I'd show up in the end.
How about you, Yael?
I have been really lucky in that because of the show, I've been able to interact with women who have had involvement with the criminal justice system and come out on the other side. So when I listen to their real life stories, I stand in admiration for the survival of that moment. You know, disregarding the crime, the act of surviving in that system is very, very difficult, particularly if you have a family, particularly if you're a mother or a partner to somebody. So I can't even imagine myself with that strength to kind of travel through in that way. But I have admiration for people who've managed to go through that system and keep themselves whole at the end of it.
Did you meet them to practice your role, or why?
We've because of the huge exposure of the show, it's really lifted the profile of this issue in the US, and because of that, we're able to interact with people who are either trying to make great change in the system. People like Piper Kerman, who wrote the memoir, is a great advocate for change. So because of that connection with her, we've been able to interact with people.
Okay. Have you ever met inmates that watched the series?
Well, Netflix isn't. It's because it's a streaming series. I don't think it's in prisons, you know, currently. But I have met someone who has been incarcerated.
Okay.
And a father, wonderful man I met. And he was really, really sweet and kind and gracious, and said that he really enjoyed the show. And he was saying that that's what it's like. He's like, that's pretty, you know, you have all those people in the system, and that's exactly how they behave. And
Oh, okay, that sounds really interesting. Sometimes when I talk to people who haven't watched Orange is the New Black before, especially men, they have this prejudice, okay, this series is just for women. It's not something for guys, I think. And then when they watch it, they were like, oh, okay, that's different. That's not only a girl thing. Is that something that you also confronted with?
Every day.
Is it that way?
Well, they're all, the men are always like, well, my girlfriend, or no, my wife made me watch this.
You're watching it. So.
And I love it, but you know, my wife made me watch it.
Okay. I think it's the first time when I watched Orange is the New Black, I have had this moment where I could cry like rivers, and seconds later, I just laughed so loud. It's like the first time I experienced that in a series. No, it's really true. How would you describe the genre of Orange is the New Black? Because to me, I can't only tell, okay, it's not really just a comedy, not just drama. How would you describe it?
I don't put it in any sort of box, and I think that's what the genius of Jenji Kohan's work is. You know, she's already gone outside the box and outside of any sort of stereotype or definition of what makes a TV show just by diversifying her cast from its race to its ages to its genres to the sizing of women to sexual orientation, and the list continues. That in itself was groundbreaking and outside of the box. And so it sounds or seems unimportant and oversimplifying to try and then take something that's already been put outside of a box to now try and put it inside of another box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
true.
not, you know, what she's done, her approach to this material has been to just tell stories. And I think when you just tell stories and you don't try to limit them by a context of understanding that, you know, is clear for our everyday mind, then you're allowing for stories to just live and exist, rather than everybody doesn't need somewhere to check. Sometimes it's just okay to just be out there and be.
Yeah, so true. I already seen on Instagram, for example, that you already had a great time here in Berlin.
We did. Yeah.
Is it your first time in Germany, or?
Not for me.
No, not for either of us.
But I mean, I don't want you to have problems with the law or something.
That's so generous of you. Thank you.
That's why I'd like to test if you are familiar with the German law. I have a little game, if it's okay for you.
Sure.
I have a few situations, and you...
Is she going to hit us with those paddles?
Oh, no.
Because I think that's not...
I'm not that way. And
I think
you
that is
just
against the law.
should guess if it's legal or illegal here in Germany.
Okay.
One for you and one for you.
Thank you.
Okay, just one example, yeah? Okay, let's show the first example. It's a situation. Having a beer while driving your car. Is it illegal or legal here in Germany? What you think?
Legal.
Here's my thinking. It's so crazy that you're asking that because it obviously should be illegal.
Yes.
But because you're asking it, that means it's definitely legal.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, like, what happens during Oktoberfest? That's what I'm like.
Yeah, you're right. You're really right. Yeah, it's legal.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is.
That's crazy.
Welcome to Germany. The law is, if you have everything under control while driving, it's okay to have a beer.
How do you know if you have like everything under control? A lot of times in my life, I'm questioning if I have anything under control.
I don't know. I never drink while driving.
Amazing.
Okay. Another situation. Let me show it. Nude sunbathing at the beach here in Germany. Is it illegal or legal?
I hope it's legal.
I feel like that might be illegal.
Uzo, you're right. Oh, it's illegal. Yes.
And it shouldn't. What? Really?
Yes, it's illegal. Only you can. I mean, maybe you heard of it, that nude sunbathing is okay, but only in special areas here in Germany. Okay. So you can decide if you want to.
We need to get a map with the special areas.
Yeah, Germany has a map, actually.
Great.
Can we get a map? To you later.
Okay, next situation. Playing music on the street. I think that's easy.
Legal.
Yeah. Of course, it's legal, but only if you change your position as a musician every 30 minutes. True.
It's a good workout.
Not mad.
Yeah, it's a good workout. Okay, the next one. Driving your car naked
This is a combination of the other ones.
Could you, as long as you're going to the beach, maybe.
And drinking a beer.
Yeah, exactly. And have everything under control.
So what's your guess about that? Driving your car naked here in Germany?
I'm going to say legal?
Yael is not okay.
It seems like it should. I don't know.
I'm sorry, it's legal.
It is
You're
legal.
Right. It is legal. You can drive your car naked, but when you get out of the car, you have to wear clothes. That's the law.
Yeah, right.
That's it. Okay, let's look at the last one. Smoking weed.
It's not a state-by-state thing.
I know. I'm torn now. I don't know, but I'm like, this is like the one I'm least confident about.
I feel like I should know
I feel like that's how you end up naked driving.
Okay, so you say it's illegal. What's your guess? Still
You're saying illegal. Well, I'm just going to go for legal for a point of difference here.
Okay, this time Yael is right. But just let me say, it's just smoking weed. The act of smoking weed, the possession of weed is illegal. So if you do
Hang on a second.
that's okay.
Okay.
But if it's if you possess it, if you have it on your body,
Person?
of your person,
That's very confusing.
I know,
It
like
is,
without
I
smoking
know.
it.
So it
So
has
it's like
to
you have to
magically
go in
appear.
your hand and you're like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm just looking at it. Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this interview. I'm so excited for the next season.
Thank you.
And still have a lot of fun in Berlin.
And
Wish
now
you
we
all the
know
best.
how to have fun legally.
And
Yes, you
illegally.
have. Thank you very much. Mensch, Freunde, ich freue mich sehr auf die neue Staffel von Orange is the New Black. Ne? Also falls ihr sie noch nicht gesehen habt, spätestens dann, oder? Bei den sympathischen Damen. Also ab dem 17. Juni auf Netflix anschauen.